Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just trying to set myself up over here while we wait for people to enter into the chat. Welcome in, everyone. Oh, let me turn myself down here. Welcome. All right, all right, now we got that done. Ring the bell. So we're gonna do a weekend check-in. Boy, I tried so hard to get here earlier this week. I just could not, man. The week just got a hold of me, and I was under its control. But here I am, where I am. It is mid-Friday afternoon, getting ready to do a reading for all of you guys. What cards do we want to use? Oh, wait. Let me burn a little cedar here. Get us all smudged off before we get going. So, yeah, we're going to go around the Zodiac from Aries through till Pisces. Right? And we are just going to see, what does the weekend look like for all of us? What does the weather look like? All right, what cards am I using? Now I've got the Spellcaster sitting right here, so let's go ahead and use that. Let me smudge that off. How are you guys? So listen, when I'm done, you got a question, you want me to pull a card for it, go ahead and throw it in the chat, and we'll just kind of roll with it and see how well we can maneuver all of those chats, all of those questions as they come in. If there's not a lot of questions, I'll try to hit them all. But if all of a sudden I get inundated with all these questions, then we're just going to have to do a random, like, kind of, lottery. Maybe she'll pull my name, kind of thing. Anyway, welcome in. Hi, Harshal. Welcome in. Jenny's Cozy Corner. Welcome. Nice to have you in. Yeah, I hope you guys are getting ready for a good weekend. I thought that I would, check in with everyone. Did you take a look at the thumbnail? Do I have the thumbnail still here? Yeah, I do. All right, this is from the Shuffle Tarot. Did you see that? So it's the Two of Wands looking very much like the Two of Cups. So I just feel as if each person, if you're involved with someone, everybody has their own idea of what they want, and both ideas are good, So I feel like, with this Two of Wands this weekend, we just gotta kind of keep that in mind. If we're partnered up with anybody that, you would really love to do this thing because you're working really hard on it, and, they probably like to do their thing because they would love to do that this weekend. Maybe we can find a compromise when it comes to relationships. All right. But anyway, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. All right, Jenny, I'd be happy to give you a reading. Let me first run through all of the zodiac signs. We're going to start with Aries, check in for, through the night tonight. Let's say like the next 72 hours. We're looking at the weekend, see what it looks like for everyone, right? So anyway, really appreciate you all being a part of my channel. And if you're new here, welcome in. Those of you that don't know, a lot of times what I like to do is after I get through all of the signs, if you have a question, throw it in the chat. And I like to pull cards for you guys. It's one of my most favorite things to do. So if you want to stick around, great. If not, come back, and who knows, maybe I will throw and pull some cards for all of you. Anyway, meanwhile, let's get going. All right, we're going to start with our Aries clan and see what's going on for Aries for this weekend. Don't forget to hit the like button, like, comment, share, subscribe, all right, because that really helps my channel grow. All right, listen, Aries, I feel as if, the World card, we start in with something coming to an end, could have been a long week, a long work week. But I feel as if, the weekend, if you have children, it wouldn't surprise me if you have a child that is demanding extra attention here, all right, because we've got the Page of Cups coming in with the Ten of Cups coming in upside down. So there could be some issues around your child being a little bit difficult. I think nothing you can't handle. And the other thing too, when we have the Page of Cups coming in upside down, I feel as if, there is something or someone that you would really love to do. And I just don't feel like this is a weekend that it's going to happen. If anything, I think you're going to be challenged throughout the weekend. So, for you Aries, honestly, I'm going to tell you, just kind of surrender with the energy and just kind of flow with it, roll with it, pick your battles. I just feel as if it could be a little rocky for you guys, all right? All right, so that's what I got from my Aries. Moving on to my Taurus. What's going on for Taurus? What does your weekend look like? We're starting out with the Eight of Cups reversed, King of Swords reversed, Five of Pentacles also reversed. So listen, the Eight of Cups reversed. I mean, you're in a place where you're not ready to make a decision as to whether you want to stay, you want to go, whether you want to hang on to something, whether you don't. You've been involved in a situation here that, you've got a lot of love for it. It's the cups. So when we have the cups energy, and it's the 8 of Cups, you're on the verge of trying to decide whether or not you should stay or you should go, whether you should hang on to this or you should let it go. And, it could be somebody that you were dealing with. We do have the King of Swords coming in reversed. So, Taurus, this is a hard energy because the King of Swords, they could be a little bit mean. They could have a sharp tongue. And you may be dealing with someone like that. And, maybe that's exactly what needs to happen this weekend for you to finally say, you know what, I'm out of here. Because we have the 5 of Pentacles coming in reverse, which tells me you no longer want to feel as if you are possessed by this person. Do we notice like this person's got his arm around you where, you're kind of kept under their rule? So I feel as if there is this awareness or this awakening to how you really feel about someone or some situation you are dealing with and whether or not it is time to move on from it. All right, so that's what I got for Taurus. So let's move on to Gemini. Gemini, we got the Sun card coming in upside down. So I think we're going to start the weekend off, Gemini, with you, not really wanting people to know how you really feel. All right, because when the Sun card comes in upside down, you're putting on a front. On the outside, everything is really, really great, right? Life is good. But the truth is inside, you're not feeling that same kind of energy. There's some kind of something that's really bothering you that you just don't want people to know about. And then we have the 10 of Wands sitting right next to it. All right, so you're carrying something around this weekend that I just feel as if you're just going to try to make sure that other people don't know, that they don't learn about it, that they don't kind of guess. Good luck with that, because I feel as if, this weekend you have the potential to do something that trips you up, that might kind of flag a conversation where you might open yourself up to someone and kind of let them know that, you've been carrying this really heavy burden, this really heavy weight. Because I think as soon as you do that, the Wheel of Fortune comes out for you and things start to turn, because you're no longer, it doesn't own you. You've now shared it with all these people or this person. So yeah, I think, this weekend you're kind of faced with dealing with the heaviness that you've been carrying. All right, Gemini? So that's what I've got for you. All right, let's see what's going on for all of my Cancers. All right, Cancer, let's see what's happening. We got the Strength card coming in reverse. Some of you may not feel 100% this weekend, so please get the rest that you need. When we have the Strength card coming in reverse, I also feel as if, you're holding back, from honoring who or what it is that you really are capable of. All right, and then we have the 4 of Pentacles coming in reverse. I think you've been holding back. For some people, it could be a talent. For some people, it could be, something that would really be good for you. The fact that we have the Strength card coming in reverse, Cancer, I feel like, you need to do what you need to do so that you find yourself in a good position, so you feel good about what you're doing, so that, you're being able to express yourself the way you need to express yourself. Do the things that really work good for you. Now, I do sense that, there is something that you need to advocate for yourself, because we do have the 7 of Wands here, all right? Now, this is the card of somebody who needs to speak up. So I think, if you are dealing with a situation that you don't know how to handle it, you don't know what to do, but you do know what to do. You really do. And if you start to talk about it and speak up for yourself, I think you might be surprised at what channels out. So this weekend, I really feel as if, one, you need to take care of yourself, Cancer. 2, I really feel like you need to really kind of see things in a way where, you might have to open up and, kind of, make yourself a little bit more vulnerable than you want to. But, this is about your future. You need to really, protect yourself and take care of yourself and do what's good for you moving forward. So that's what I got from my Cancer clan. All right, let's see what's going on for all of my Leos. Grateful, thankful for Leo. Look, you're coming out as the Queen of Wands. I like the Queen of Wands. Everybody wants to be like the Queen of Wands. You know why? Because she's amazing. She's beautiful. She's dynamic. She's charismatic. She's creative. She's entrepreneurial. She's just one of these people that you have nothing more but all you can do is admire her. And I think that's how you come across this weekend. I mean, I think, you are definitely being seen. If you go out, the attention will be all eyes on Leo when they walk through the door. So I like that, because that puts you in your element. Now we also have the Ace of Swords coming in. I just get the sense this weekend you are on fire. And aside from, just being a person, who is doing really, really well, I also wonder whether or not, there is some kind of a truth that comes out, something that, comes through that, really you can get behind. I mean, this is like an idea or a thought. So some of you may actually come up with an idea. Because like I said, she's really creative. She thinks outside of the box. And there could be an idea that comes through, Leo, that potentially could, be something you could start and make a lot of money with. So yeah, pay attention to those thoughts and ideas that do come through, all right? Because I really feel like, there is something that you need to pay attention to that could really manifest as an idea that just, lights it all on fire. Anyway, I like it. I like it for you, Leo. That's very positive. All right, so don't dismiss any thoughts. I mean, if you have a really crazy idea, because I just need to say this to you, Leo, because, I don't want you to think, you get this download from the universe, with this really great idea, and you're like, oh no, that's so wild, that's so far out there, I can't do that, That's exactly the one that probably you need to pay attention to, all right? So no idea, no thought is off the table, all right? Write them down because there's one in there that is really gold. All right, Leo, that's a great one for you. All right, let's move on to my Virgos. All right, Virgo, what's going on? Hold on, we got to get rid of some people here. Sometimes the so nice people show up and we just got to get rid of them. Anyway, all right, let's see, Virgo, what's going on for you? We have the Five of Cups coming through with the Eight of Wands reversed to the Queen of Cups, also reversed. Watch your emotions, all right, because I feel like, there is a decision. You reach a point where you no longer want to be in this state of depression, feeling sorry for yourself. I think you're reaching a point where you want to change, all right? Because, right now, there is something that I feel like is even going on within you, where, you feel a little shut down, like you don't want to talk about it. There could be something that's going on, that, is really serious. Because sometimes when we do have the energy of the Queen and the King of Cups, there could be something involved with medicine. But I feel as if there's something that I think, you need to stop doing because it may not be good for you as well. So I just feel as if, this is a very internal weekend for you, Virgo, where, you want to make some changes, all right? And you want to make some shifts and changes when it comes even to your emotions, because the Queen of Cups, when she comes in upside down, this is one of these energies where, emotionally you can't trust yourself. And you may be dealing with somebody, Virgo, who you can't trust. All right, maybe you can't believe everything somebody is telling you this weekend. So there's two kind of messages here for you, Virgo. But if you are involved with this Queen of Cups, and there's no communication, I just feel as if it's more because emotionally she's really struggling. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Virgo. Let's move on to my Libras. All right, Libra. All right, Libra, we're starting out with the Moon card, Four of Swords to the Star. And boy, just as I'm pulling these cards, this big, there's a big thunderhead above. Oh, hear it? There's the storm. So I feel as if there's a storm around you, Libra, honestly. We do start your weekend with the Moon card, all right? And, when we have the Moon card, this is a very deep, kind of energy, because things that you usually hold down and keep down deep inside, I feel like they might want to surface because you're dealing with a situation that from the past that I feel has really hurt you. And I think this weekend there's something that just kind of sets that off in emotion. And it could be a situation that you don't know how to fix it. Maybe there's somebody who that is not well. Remain hopeful because the final outcome is that of the Star. So I mean, you need to really kind of trust what's coming through. And when we have the Moon card, a lot of times this is very psychic energy, dream type of energy, that kind of thing. So you just have to trust that there is something bigger at play here to help rectify whatever it is that you are hurting from. All right, because we've got that star card coming out. So a very, very heavy weekend for you, Libra. All right, let's see what's going on for my Scorpios. All right, Scorpio, we have the Temperance card coming out with the Three of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. I like this energy. You know, listen, if you have been patiently waiting for a position to open up for you to teach or, you know, have a workshop or lead something, you know, is what I'm feeling. I feel like it's coming through. Because we have here the Six of Pentacles, and then we also have the Ten of Pentacles, you know. So we see that if you have been considering or thinking about maybe even going into an aspect where you can teach a craft that you do or something that you are very good at, I really think that's going to come through for you. That's not the Six of Pentacles, it is the Three of Pentacles, but I feel as if, you know, the fact that I said that, you know, it's about finding that balance in your work. Now, the Three of Pentacles here, you know, usually is about working in collaboration with someone else, but I feel like if that is the situation, Scorpio, I think you have to lead it. You know, and I feel like you are waiting for the right opportunity to present itself or for you to present, you know, what it is that you have to offer. But I feel like you're really, really close. If not, you may actually, you know, land on that this weekend. So nice for you, Scorpio. All right, let's see what else is going on. Let's see, we're moving on to my Sagittarians. Hold on, let's see. Are we okay in the chat? I hope so. Anybody out there want to be a moderator? I'd be happy to make you a moderator. I don't know if Jenny's Cozy Corner, I don't know if she's still around. Anyway, I just want to make sure that everybody's happy in the chat. All right, let's see what's going on for my Sagittarians. We're starting out the weekend with the Magicians. You know, I like the Magician energy. And in this one, notice that there is the snake shedding its skin. And we are in the year of the snake. You know, so I feel that with the Magician energy, you know, this is an energy where, you know, you can make things happen. You know, you can do things that you couldn't do before in the past, you know, when a shyness would keep you from being able to, you know, go and knock on somebody's door and ask for a job. Now you can, you know. I just feel like there's this change that's happening for a lot of my Sagittarians where they're starting to step into a place where they know how to use the tools that they were given to them in order to rebuild in a lot of way and truly the shedding of a skin. Now, there is a situation that you are dealing with, Sagittarius. We do have the Nine of Swords coming in reversed. I feel like, you know, it's time to just deal with it. All right, there is an ending that needs to happen. When we have the energy of the swords, there's a lot of mental energy, there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, not knowing what to do. And I think you know that there's not going to be a good outcome. So whatever it is that you are dealing with that's been really bothering you, you know, I mean, the card that follows the Nine of Swords is the 10, which brings an ending. You know, I think, you know, you might need to just kind of realize that it might be time to just be done with it and move on because there is not a good answer or solution to this. All right, so that's what I've got for my Saggies. Hi, Jenny. Jenny, you want to be a moderator? Maybe if you're going to stick around, I'm almost done. I'm on Sagittarius. I got Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and then I'm going to jump in the chat, and I'm going to start with your reading first. But in the meantime, I just thought maybe if you want to help me out, keep the riffraff away. That would be really, really great. Just let me know. No pressure. All right. Moving on to my, let's see, Sagittarius, Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, let's see what the weekend looks like for you. We got the Four of Cups starting the weekend. You may have to make a trip. I feel as if there could be a trip that comes up here with the Chariot. You know, so I feel like it wouldn't surprise me if that was like mid-weekend because we are reading for the weekend. But I think, you know, you start in a place where you're kind of quiet, kind of reserved. The Four of Cups is, you know, not even knowing, I mean, even a little bored, all right, Capricorn? So because you might be even a little bored, that could be why, you know, you may be thinking, maybe I'll just take a trip and go somewhere. I like the energy for you, Capricorn, because you come out as the devil and coming in reverse. So when the devil comes in reverse, you know, it's almost as if you know, this weekend, you know, even though you want to go places, you want to do things that are good for you. You don't want to just kind of do something to just overindulge, you know, so it's like you want to find things that, you know, might excite you, that inject a little bit of life into your world that maybe you haven't done before. But it's a nice energy for you, Capricorn, so I like that. All right, let's move on to my Aquarius. Hey Aquarius, look at you. I feel like you want to go places too. Whenever we have the energy of the Knight of Wands, you know, this is somebody who likes to go and do things and have a good time. And a lot of times we can see travel with the Knight of Wands. Maybe some of you are taking a plane ride, going somewhere. I like that. Maybe it's a much needed getaway, who knows, you know, but I do feel like some of you guys are really in a place where you want to have a good time, especially if you've been spending a lot of time by yourself. All right, we've got the Hermit coming in reversed, you know, so in combination, I feel like, you know, you want to quit being so alone and maybe go do something. So if you have an invite to go out with someone, hang out with someone, or go visit someone somewhere else, I think it would be good for you. Now, on the flip side of that, though, for the Hermit card coming in here, you know, some of you may actually need to take the time to sit with yourself. All right, so if you're going to sit with yourself as the Hermit energy, you know, maybe you need to start thinking about, you know, things in your life and how you can bring a little bit more balance. And I say that because we do have the Six of Pentacles coming in as a final outcome card for the weekend. And I just feel like, you know, if there's any part of your life, you know, Aquarius, that just seems to be off kilter, which just doesn't seem like it works. You know, I mean, I think a lot of you Aquarians are wanting to start to design a life that's more in line with what you want to do, you know, where, you know, it's not all work all the time, or it's not the kids all the time, or it's not, you know, anything but where there's some more balance. But anyway, either way, I do feel like, you know, overall, Aquarians, you're going to have a great weekend. All right, last but not least is my Pisces. All right, Pisces, we've got you coming out with the Six of Cups, Ten of Swords reversed, to the Four of Wands. All right, Six of Cups, all right, nostalgia. You know, I feel like when it comes to, you know, starting out the weekend, you may be starting it out with family, just enjoying the company of each other, you know, making memories, good memories with those you love. I like that. But I feel as if, you know, there is something that's going on, Ten of Swords reversed here. I feel like you don't want to deal with it this weekend. All right, there is something that, you know, has been bothering you. You got to deal with it. It's been really, you know, hurting you. Maybe it's something that you're thinking, something that you're doing. But I feel as if, you know, this weekend, you know, maybe it's triggered this weekend and, you know, you're going to get really close to really saying, that's it, I'm not going to let that happen anymore. But I feel like, you know, there is something that could trigger you this weekend, you know, that could, you know, set you off, right? So pushing buttons could be a theme for some of you. And maybe it could happen with family member. You know, because a lot of times when we get around our family, boy, they sure know how to push our buttons, right? Or maybe you push their button. But, you know, I feel like whoever it is, you got a really tight bond with them. We do have the Four of Wands here, and we see that there is this really, you know, tight connection that you have with someone. So if you are gathering with friends and family, and there may have been an issue between you and someone from the past that was a little painful, you know, that might actually get resolved this weekend. And I hope that happens, because that would be nice, all right? Because life is short, and, you know, we love the people we love. And, you know, when we get into a fight and stuff, we miss them, right? We miss them. All right, listen, I'm going to turn my attention to all you guys in the chat. All right, let's hit that bowl of mine, my singing bowl. I actually bought that at a thrift store for $3. Came home, cleaned it up, and it was like, wow, it's pretty. Anyway, a little smudge for all of us. Grateful, thankful for each and every one of you guys. How's your weekend going? Shall we do some readings? I got to go back to the very beginning to Jenny. Jenny's Cozy Corner, my friend. I know you want me to pull a card. I just need to see if there was a question that was associated with it. Let's see. Would love a reading today, but it doesn't say whether it's anything specific. So, all right, Jenny, you are up first. You are on the chopping block. Grateful, thankful for the messages for all my friends in the chat creator. Maybe we have a good reading, a good session. Good messages come through for each and every person that is tuned in. Hi, Linda, Jonathan, Mandy. Nice to see you, Mandy. BCA. Where am I from? I am from New Mexico. All right, Gert, nice to see you. All right, let's see what's going on for Jenny. Jenny's crazy corner. We're gonna find out what's going on for her. Yeah, welcome in, you guys. I'm here for a little while, pulling cards. My most favorite thing to do is pull cards for you guys. So yeah, put your questions in. If it doesn't get too crazy, I'll probably get to yours, all right? If it gets too crazy, I might not. All right, let's see, Jenny. First card out for you is the Knight of Wands reversed. Be careful of somebody who you are dealing with. We have the King of Wands, not the Knight. The King of Wands reversed is somebody very charming. He'll tell you anything you want to hear. But you can't count on him. You can't trust him. And at times, Jenny, this person has represented the player type of person. So, I mean, this is somebody who really loves themselves, you know, but they're a con. They know how to tell you whatever it is they need you to hear. And sometimes, you know, they might say something that might make you feel as if, you know, you don't have a leg to stand on. So be careful of this energy, because I just feel like this person here is going to make you feel like you know, don't have a say in something. And you should have a say in something. Let's get one more card for you, Jenny. Six of Wands coming in reverse. Yeah, this isn't going to turn out good with this person. All right, so don't let this person tell you yes or what you can do, what you can't do, how you are, how you're not. You know, just be aware that, you know, you're onto them and you know that whatever it is, it's not going to work out for them. You know, bottom of the deck, I've got the Devil for you, Jenny, you know, and it is reversed. So I think you recognize who this person is, you know, so you have been warned. All right, that's what I got for you, Jenny. All right, let's see who else is out there. Let's see, is anybody, I'm going to go back a little bit and see. Let's see. We have a Libra. We got Coco, like spaghetti. That's good. I like spaghetti. We got Quentin Tarantino. We got someone watching from Africa, Kenya. Welcome. Where are you guys all from? I'm from New Mexico. I'm USA. All right, let's see. Let's see. How could I not? Only have let's see. All right, Jonathan. Jonathan Baca. Are you still out there? There you are. Hey, Albuquerque. You're down south. I'm up north. So Jonathan is in the 505 and I am in the 575. Welcome, neighbor. All right, listen, Jonathan Baca. I'm going to tune into you. Let's see, and some info. Am I going to get back the money that my mom stole from me when I go back to court? Please help. All right, let's find out. Dear Universe, Jonathan Baca would like to know whether or not he's going to get his money back. What's going to happen? Is he going to get his money back when he goes to court? Yes, no, maybe. What's going on? We are all wanting to know how it's going to turn out for my friend Jonathan, my neighbor down the road. Let's see what's going on, Jonathan. Let's find out. You know, and the answer is yes. I do feel like, you know, you will be, you know, definitely there will be some judgment that she will need to pay you the money back. Whether or not that actually happens, you know, I don't know. But definitely she will be court ordered to pay you, you know. So hopefully she doesn't walk out of the court without doing that. As far as the courts are concerned, yes, you should get paid. That's what I got for you, Jonathan. Child of God, pray for these witches. Okay. I don't know. I'm a good witch. All right. The present way. You have a question. You'd like to do more self-reflection. Okay. What are good ways? Meditation, the present way. I will always throw out meditation. Listen, the best way, you know, to grow in self-reflection and spiritually and just upon this earth is to be able to sit with yourself. If you can't sit with yourself, how are you supposed to help anyone else? Anyway, I'm a fan of meditation. So that would be my advice to you for the present way. All right, Gert, how are you? Steve Curry or LeBron James? All right, this is basketball, I guess. I'm not into basketball. Mandy, how are you? What is Gwen's true intentions towards you? Let's find out. Mandy, are you still out there? Grateful, thankful for the messages from Mandy Gregory. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Mandy. Would like to know Gwen's true intentions. Yes or no? Gwen's true intentions towards you. Thanks. Let's see what's going on for you, Mandy. All right, look. We have the King of Swords. True intentions. I feel a seriousness between, you and her. And one of the things that I sense is that the seriousness of somebody always pointing something out. Notice that this king is pointing something out to you. It's not all it's cut out to be. I need a little honesty would really help. I feel like you were dealing with somebody who could be a little manipulative. All right, and the truth is, Mandy, are you really that happy? Because on the outside, I think you appear happy, but inside, are you truly happy with Gwen? Regardless of how she feels, I think the question here is that, you are dealing with somebody who I think could, at times make you feel some way or another, and it's not always positive because the Sun card doesn't show happiness, okay? Yeah, I feel like that, they would stay in your life. You want them to stay in your life. Whether or not that's really healthy for you, I think is what you need to look at, because I don't think look, and then there's the Lover's card coming in reverse. I don't think you are as honest with your true feelings about them as you need to be. So that's what I got for you, Mandy Gregory. All right, Linda Swan, how are you? Hey, Linda, I hope you're still out there. Grateful, thankful for the messages from my friend Linda Swan. She would like a love reading. Oh, it's your mother. Well, that would explain the pointing out and making you feel some way or another, Mandy. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's hard, because it's like it's hard to make someone like that happy. All right, Linda, you're up next. Grateful, thankful for you. Thanks for popping into the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all you guys. Really makes a difference to my channel. All right, Linda, let's move on to you. Let's see what's coming through for Linda Swan. Grateful, thankful for a general reading for Linda. General reading. Grateful, thankful for the messages. I wonder, Linda, whether you know somebody who might struggle a little bit emotionally. You might be struggling right now. All right, let's see, Linda. We've got the Ten of Pentacles coming out for you. Oh, my gosh, you're about to come into some money. And it's going to make you very, very happy, all right? I don't know how that money's coming, but we do have the Ten of Pentacles, which it's like, all of a sudden there's money that, look, you can dance around, celebrate, have a good time, maybe you can go somewhere. Ten of Pentacles is a good amount of money, too. It's not like, that you get a 50-cent raise. This is significant. So I like that for you, Linda. Let's pull one more card. Then we have the Nine of Swords coming in reverse. So relax, okay? If you've been stressing, if you've been worrying whether or not things are going to work out, I do feel as if they will, all right? And then we can put this to an end and just know that a new day is dawning and a lot of brightness is coming towards you and your family. So I like that for you, Linda. As a love reading, even as a love reading, this is very, very positive because, when we have the Ten of Pentacles, we're looking at a love reading, Linda, it says, whoever my relationship is that I have right now, it's everything, all right? I've got a house and money and my family and we're all really well and we're all really happy. So I'm not sure what the Nine of Swords is with so much stress. Maybe you are stressed as to whether or not you should take the plunge, whether or not you should get married, whether you should, really kind of go for it, or even whether or not you deserve it. But I see here that, it is a really great outcome for you. And this person, they love you. So why not be loved by somebody who can give you everything you want? So you have a good future in front of you, Linda. Very, very nice. I like it for you. All right, let's see who else is out there. Let's see. Angela, welcome in. Michael L. is senior. Nice to see you. Crypto Billy, how are you, young man, young woman, whoever you are? Crypto Billy, I think is a man. Moving forward, nice to see you. All right, moving forward, let's find out how that Leo is feeling about you. Grateful, thankful to each one of you guys. Thanks for popping in. It's a Friday afternoon where I am. Grateful, thankful for the messages from Michael. Oh no, for moving forward. We're going with moving forward. Moving forward. How is the Leo feeling about moving forward? Inquiring minds want to know. How is this Leo feeling? The world, you know, I don't know whether or not something's come to an end. You know, maybe they feel like it's finally come to an end. There's an end of a cycle. And I feel as if they feel good about it. So I don't know if recently, you know, you guys split up. If you did, then I feel like, you know, she's okay with it. Knight of Swords coming in reverse. You know, if this is you, I feel as if they're, you know, they're okay with you kind of like having some distance and space between each other. One more card, Ace of Pentacles. I feel like, you know, there's also this new opportunity that they're about to embark upon, you know. So life is changing for them. So this Leo is moving on. All right, so that's what I got for you moving forward. Carolina. Carolina wants to know how her weekend's going to be. Let's find out. Huh? Grateful, thankful for you, Carolina. Welcome in. Tokir Ahmad, is that how we say it? And Linda, you're from New Zealand. Welcome. Michael Ellis. All right, let's see. Let's find out, Carolina. How's your weekend going to be? Look, 2020. Focus. Your weekend could be very focused, right, Caroline? Or Carolina, shall I say? Carolina, how's your weekend going to be? Welcome in. Look, I see you trying to make it all happen, all right? So a lot of balancing. Anything could throw off the weekend, all right? So I feel like you've got to figure out how you're going to be able to be here and there at work, doing what you want to do. So I think your weekend's going to be challenging on that front. Let's get another card out. Seven of Cups. You know, this weekend may not be yours. You know, when I say that, you know, it's almost like, you know, you may have your own ideas of what you would love to do this weekend, but I feel as if the weekend's going to tell you what to do. So that's how I feel like your weekend's going to be, Carolina. Anyway. Hey, who else is out there? Slow motion is better than no motion. All right, Tokir. You'd like your future ma'am, your future lady, is that what, or your future person? Let's just go with your future person, all right, Tokir? Welcome in, you guys. Nice to see you all. Look at you, you're all coming in. All right, Tokir, let's find out if you're still out there. Let me pull a card for you. Let's see, and we'll go down a little bit. Let's see, your future person. What can you tell me about Tokir's future person or their future? Maybe their future. Seven of Pentacles. Listen, Tokir, I feel like you got to quit putting energy into something that's not giving back. All right? When we reach this point, you know, it's not producing. You're not being able to, you know, make ends meet. So whatever it is you are working on right now that you've put a lot of time, a lot of energy in, that you really wanted to see happen, I just feel like it might be time to kind of let it all go. All right, Tokir, so that's what I feel for your future. All right, who else is out there? Let's see. Michael Ellis, we have to learn to be alone and love ourselves before we can love someone else. Yeah, listen, you know, it's good to know who you are when you get involved with someone. Do you know what I mean? Because then you're not going to compromise yourself, and then from there you can grow. Anyway. All right, who else? All right, Kandambari. Is that how I say it? Kandambari. Kandambari would like to know if Natish, that's as far as I'm going to go with that name, is the right person for you. Let's find out, all right? Kandambari. I just like to say that. Let's find out whether this person is the right person for you. Thankful for the messages for Kandambari. All right, let's find out. Is this the right person for you? And listen, the answer is no. I feel as if they could be a little selfish. But this is Nine of Cups, all right? The Nine of Cups is our wish card, all right? And the fact that it comes in upside down, all right? I feel as if, you know, this is not the right person. You asked whether or not, you know, Natish is your right person, and the answer is no. And when we see that this card comes up reverse, you know, it's just, honestly, there is a selfishness that ends up happening. And I just feel as if you will come to learn that about her. So, you know, God's rejection is your protection. So I feel as if, you know, this is one of these things. Maybe this is just not meant to be for you. But no, she is definitely not your person. Here we have the Two of Swords coming in the bottom of the deck. You know, I know you feel a little confused, but I see that, you know, if you continue, there's going to be some hurt, some heartache that will happen between you and her if it hasn't already. All right? All right, let's see. Lamia, what does Omar feel for you? All right, Lamia, we're going to you. What does Omar feel for you? Lamia. All right, let's find out, Lamia. How's Omar feeling about you? Grateful, thankful for the messages from my friend Lamia. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, comment, just say hey. You know, it's all good. You know, just let YouTube know you are interacting with me, because that's how my channel grows. And I really want to see my channel grow. All right, Lamia. All right, listen, Ace of Cups. So there is some kind of love between the two of you, you know, and I think, you know, he still has feelings for you, you know, but, you know, I feel as if there's, you know, this need, maybe, you know, is he married? If he's married, I mean, this is your ex, you know, there's, you know, legal matters that might keep you from being able to be with them, Ace of Swords. You know, but it's funny. I'm just wondering whether or not if you two ever wanted to get back together again, it would be, you know, I think it could work. It could work, but, you know, he's very manipulative, you know, so be careful of his energy as well. You know, it just depends on what you want with this person. But, you know, I do get the sense, too, that, you know, when it comes to Omar and his feelings for you, yes, you know, they do love you. But, you know, listen, they would never put any effort in to try to make this work, all right? You would, but they wouldn't, all right? Because twice now I see him not wanting to make it work. So, you know, even though he cares about you, I feel like he's definitely moved on. All right, let me, that's what I've got for you. All right, who's next? KTM Enduro. Motocross. This is a devil trap. Don't ask her nothing. All right, well, listen, you know, don't be here. You know, listen, you don't like it, you don't have to be here. You know, I don't go to your channel and say, don't do this. It's all good. All right, Tarot Tales by Rashmi. What's coming towards you? Let's find out what's coming towards Tarot Tales by Rashmi. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Tarot's Tales. Grateful, thankful for the messages. What's coming towards my tarot friend? Tarot Tales by Rashmi. Grateful, thankful for the messages. I always like to get a reading from another tarot reader. Feel free to pull me a card, all right, Tarot? All right, grateful, thankful for the messages. The Tarot's Tale by Rashmi. What can you tell me to tell Rashmi? All right, ready? Here comes a card. We've got the Knight of Pentacles coming in reverse. Listen, you got to do the work. I mean, this is an energy of not wanting to do the groundwork, sitting back, you know. I mean, you know, if you want something to manifest, you have to go after it. So when we have the Knight of Pentacles, it could indicate that maybe you are out of work. But you've got to really get up and do the work. I mean, really, that is the message of the Knight of Pentacles. Because the card that follows is the King. If you want to have the wealth and all the success that comes with that King of Pentacles, then as the Knight, you need to get up and do what you got to do and make that happen. So there's a need for you, Tarot, to get up and do the work, and then you'll have success. All right, that's what I've got for you for my Tarot Tales by Rashmi. Healing energy, suicidal thoughts. I'm sorry about that. You know, just be grateful that you are alive today. Be thankful. I mean, honestly, when you get to that point, we gotta point towards gratitude. You know, because we can't look at what we don't have, because that's what's putting us in that state when, you know, nothing is working for us and we start to get really down and out and pitiful. You know, we have to turn to gratitude. We have to be grateful for what we have in front of us. So that healing energy is what I would suggest for you. Be grateful. Just right now, point out 5 things that you are grateful for. Look around. What are the first 5 things you see? Right? What are the next 4 things that you hear? You know, reach out, and 3 things you can touch. 2 things you smell. And one thing you're grateful for. See if that gets you back to focus. All right. All right, who else is out there? All right, Paul Aubrey, England. You meditate a lot. You drink a lot of beer, and then I see God or pass out. Listen, God loves drunks, druggies, and all that kind of stuff, you know. You're taken care of. Maxime, how is my ex Carolina feel about you? Let's find out. I had a Carolina in here earlier. Let's find out, Maxime. How does Carolina feel about you? People think what the message is for Maxime. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of, child of God here because that's just a distraction. Do you know what I mean? People should be more open-minded. All right, let's see what's going on. Maxine, how is your ex, Carolina, feeling about you? Grateful, thankful for the messages from Maxine. Grateful, thankful for the messages from Maxine. How is Carolina feeling about you currently? Let's see. All right, we have the death card. I think they see it's over. When we have the death card coming over, it's just like it's done, it's over, moving on, heading in a new direction. And here we have the Two of Pentacles coming in reverse. I think she reached a point where she realized that she couldn't pretend anymore that this was working, it wasn't working. And I think, the death card, kind of showed up. And I feel like the two of you are hanging on by a thread. So how does she feel about you right now? I mean, it's over. I think with everything, it's one of those things. She was hurt, right? Three of Swords. And she can't pretend she wasn't hurt. So I feel like, yeah, she was really, really hurt, Maxine. But it's over. But it's over. Yeah, Six of Swords. But she's still troubled by it all. Because I think there's still something between the two of you that hasn't ended completely. So if there still is something that the two of you are hanging on that you need to cut, in order for it to really be over, that might resurface. But yeah, she is definitely hurt, Maxine. All right. That's what I got for you. Victoria Rosa, welcome in. Master Chicks Poultry Farm, nice to see you. Denise. Card for weight loss, please. All right, Denise, I got some bad news for you. All right, Jupiter, you that big planet up in the sky. He's in Cancer right now. Do you know what Cancer loves? Cancer loves to be in the kitchen. You know what happens when a Cancer gets in the kitchen? They cook. So we got Jupiter in Cancer right now. So it's going to take a lot of willpower for you to get through this time period right now. All right, Denise? But I'm going to wish you all of the willpower. Let me see what card comes out. But honestly, I really have to tell you that, because that is a big aspect that even myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, because I find myself reaching for that extra chocolate and, and it's just like, I can't do that. I can't keep doing it. But Denise, let's find out. Let's pull a card for you on your weight loss. Let's see what's coming through. I'm wishing you a lot of success. Look, you're going to have success, Sometimes when you know that temptation is there and could really pull on you. But here with this Ace of Wands, I think the rewards are really worth it. And I think you're going to stay focused on the end game. But Ace of Wands, really is a gift from the universe that says you're going to be able to get through this. All right? Just know that, those temptations, and that craving, it's not all you, it's also the universe. You said Jupiter in Cancer. Anyway, that's what I got for you, Denise. Grateful, thankful. I like to see success for you. Welcome, Serene. Thank you for that. We'll reconcile with Sohina. Let's find out. We need to know whether or not there is going to be a reconciliation. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Grateful, thankful for that today. All right, Serene, let's find out. Will there be a reconciliation with Sohina? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Serene. All right, let's find out. I don't see a reconciliation. When I get a card reversed, that's always a no for me. And the fact that it comes up with the Emperor reversed, and then, all right, and it's also confirmed by the Hermit reversed. You know, I just feel as if, you know, there is not going to be a reconciliation if she has anything to do with it. Now, coming out as the Emperor reverse, I feel as if, you know, you're not done with her. So you may be the one that may try to have a reconciliation with her, but the honest truth is that she does not want it. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Sareem. But thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Hi, Thomas. Nice to see you. Marina de la Rosa. Welcome. Yeah, it's been a while. It's nice to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing really, really well. Noosh. I don't know what Kerala chips are. Don't know that. Hi, Sadar Sharada. Is that how you say it? I don't know how to say your name, but hello. Nice to see you. Paulina, will you get back with your ex? You can't get over it. It's been a year. Oh, no. All right, Paulina, you're up. Let's find out. Will Paulina ever get back with her ex? It's been a while. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Paulina. Paulina, how do you say your last name? Quiroga? I don't know, but universe knows who you are, Paulina, and that's all that matters. So grateful, thankful for the messages that are coming through for Paulina in regards to her ex. She would just like a little information. So we got the Five of Wands coming in. You know, when we have the Five of Wands, you know, it's the five. It requires change. And a lot of times the Five of Wands is, you know, a lot of competition. I think, you know, right now he is out there, you know, seeing a lot of people. I don't think, yeah, you know, I think, you know, he's looking for love, if you're wondering about that. But I see that there's a lot of people that he's dealing with. So if he was dealing with a lot of people when you were together, nothing has changed, Paulina. But yeah, that's why I feel like you probably haven't, you know, heard from him. But, you know, I also don't feel like it's over. You know, we've got the death card coming in reversed, you know. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if out of the blue, one of these days, you know, and it could be, I mean, this is Scorpio season, maybe even in November. If out of the blue he contacts you. All right, when you least expect it, he could come around and contact you. Yeah, so that could happen. And then who knows from what would happen from that point. He's a Leo. This is a big year for Leo, Paulina. Yeah, but I don't think it's over. I think he's been out there kind of seeing what is out there. Sometimes, you know, sometimes some people need that. They need to like believe that you're not the one. You know, that they're going to find somebody a whole lot better than you, right? You know, but in the end, all relationships require the same thing, and that's work. You got to talk to each other. You got to do the work, you know. I mean, it takes two to tango. Anyway. All right. Nadaha. I don't know if I'm saying your name right or not. Wait a second. Let's go to Marina de la Rosa, because she was here before. Let's see. Does she have a question? Merry solstice. Oh, that's right. It's solstice. Thanks for the reminder, Marina. All right, let's see. Shraddha. Let's find out. Okay, let's find out. You want messages from the universe? Any guidance from my friend? Shraddha. I don't know how to say your name. I just don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. But you know who you are. You're in blue over here. The S in blue. Nine of Swords. You've got to let go of the stress and the anxiety. All right, so there's something that you are hanging on to, you're not wanting to deal with, something, you know, that has really stressed you out. I mean, Nine of Swords, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you know, it's affecting your work, it's affecting your life. You know, you got to follow it through, end it. Okay, the card that follows the Nine of Swords is the Ten of Swords, an ending. And I feel like, you know, you have reached this point where you've got to bring something to an end. Because it just can't, you know, when it reaches a point, when we're dealing with a situation that reaches a point where it's affecting us, you know, all angles, all aspects of us, you know, we gotta cut our losses and move on, right? And I feel like there is a situation that you can no longer stress and worry about. Instead, you just got to move on from it. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Shraddha. All right. Oh, good. You know who you are. Paulina, is he with someone? He's with several people. All right, Paulina? That's what I saw. But I also saw the death card coming in reverse. So I also think something is not completely over, Paulina. That's why I think that. All right, the present way advice if you want to start a tarot channel. If you want to start a tarot channel, you turn it on. That's what I did. You know, it's funny. Years ago, I had a tarot channel and it was stolen from me. Somebody hacked into my account. They stole my password. They shut me down. And I had just reached the point of monetization. So I had to start from square one, 0. And, you know, now I'm almost up to 6,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. Thank you, you guys. You made it happen. But you got to start with just turning it on. But let's find out. Let's find out. Hold on. The present way. Let's find out what your tarot channel will do. All right. Grateful, thankful for the present way for their tarot channel. They would love to have a tarot channel. What do you say? You know, the King of Cups. You know, you got to do the work. You know, you can't see. This is you being like, there's an emotion, you know, maybe a fear of getting yourself out there. And honestly, it starts with you and your camera, your phone. I mean, there's only one person you're talking to, and that's yourself. So you just got to get used to talking to yourself, and then, you know, it gets easier, right? But you got to start with that first reading, all right? Listen, start with Aries. You don't have to do a long reading. You can just do like I do. Every day I do tarot today. And you could just throw out one card for Aries, talk about the card, and be done with it 30 seconds later, you know, and then move on. People love that. Anyway, that's what I do. People like that. So anyway, try that. All right, Mandy. Mandy, you want a general card? Oh, wait a second. Let me get somebody who hasn't gotten anyone. All right. Let's see. Tiffany. Timothy, you would love some words about an individual. Should we walk? Let's find out if Tiffany needs to walk with a certain individual. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Tiffany. All right, Tiffany, let's find out. Oh, wait, this card wanted to stay out. You know, listen, I feel as if like this has been a pretty heavy relationship. Right, 10 of Wands. I think you've been carrying an awful lot, a lot of feelings, a lot of the responsibility, a lot of the weight of the relationship. That's probably why you're feeling why you should walk or not. So should you walk? Tower. I do see you doing some expected moves, so it would surprise me if one day you just walk without notice. You know, because if you're already thinking about that, then you've already, in your mind, have already started to walk away. And the fact that the Tower comes out, I think that one day you're just going to up and leave. That's it. Be done. That's how I think it could end. All right, Tiffany. So that's what I've got for you. Thanks, Marina. Everybody give a shout out to Marina de la Rosa Spiritual Tarot. She's got a channel. Go to her channel. Help her out. It'd be really nice. Support her for supporting me. Really appreciate you, Marina. All right, Fashion Number Store, wholesale prices. I'm good. How are you, Fashion? Anyway, I feel like I've reached the end of all of the people in the chat, but we still have a few. Listen, now's your time. If you would like a reading, a short reading, let me pull a card for you. Now is the time, because if not, I'm going to pop off. All right, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys and just kind of see if anybody wants to come on here. One last, let's be like last call, like we're at the bar. We'll be at the tarot bar. You know, then this is the last card. Thank you so much, Marina. I really appreciate you being here. Let's see, should you rate Stefan tomorrow? Let's find out. Grateful, thankful to my beautiful friend, Marina de la Rosa, Spiritual Tarot. Would really like to know whether or not she should write Stefan tomorrow. Yes, no, let's find out. Look, the answer is no. I think you need to think about it a little more before you say anything or write anything, because the Hermit coming in reverse is really encouraging you to take a little bit more time before you actually say something or write something, all right? So not just yet, all right, Marina? Give it some more time to process. And you know, the Hermit wants you to sit with it a little bit, all right? So do that before you actually go writing anything. All right, so let's do that for you. Seth, you would like me to read for you. All right, grateful, thankful for my friend Seth over here. Seth would like a reading. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Seth. All right, Ready, Seth? Here it comes. Here comes your card. Let's find out what the universe wants me to tell you. All right. Listen, the Justice card coming in reverse. There's a situation you are dealing with that is not fair, not right, not just. I mean, really, I'm getting it's just not fair. You know, this could be a situation that could involve some kind of legal action. You might be involved with some legal stuff. But, you know, this sense of it not being fair really seems to dominate. Ace of Wands, but you know, hang in there, because what follows it is the Ace of Wands. So even though you feel like things aren't really fair right now, things are about to blow up, and they're going to blow up in your favor. All right, so hang in there. All right, hang in there, and I think everything's going to work out okay, Seth. All right, that's what I've got for you. All right, the fashion store, wholesale prices. Hi, Nova, welcome in. All right, fashion store, I'm going to pull a card for you. Grateful, thankful for the messages for the store over here. The present way. No, I don't always come in every day. I've been trying, but life just kind of gets in the way. But generally, I'm here either on a Sunday or Monday, or like Thursday or a Friday. That's the best I can tell you. Ooh, your girlfriend cheated on you. Well, no wonder why it didn't seem fair. It wasn't right. Seth, it wasn't right. All right, fashion store. Let's find out what card is coming out for you. Grateful, thankful. Well, you know, the Justice card is that of Libra. And if she was a Libra, you know. But anyway, there was definitely something that was just off in that whole situation. All right, so listen, fashion store, look, you know, this is the Knight of Pentacles. So I see an offer coming through. It could really, you know, maybe land you some money. I like this because if you need work, I feel like work is on the horizon. If not, it's already here. But I see you working, you know, so this is good if that's what you need. I mean, you've got a fashion, you got a store, you got wholesale prices. If you do the work, I see success for you, definitely. Next card I have, you know, but I wonder whether or not there is somebody at work who is really interested in you, because I see somebody wanting to get to know you. Yeah, so that's happened in fashion store. So that's exciting. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if you hook up with somebody. It could be somebody from work. All right, so that's what I've got for you. Fashion, hashtag store, hashtag wholesale prices. Oh. All right, listen, so that's what's going on. I hope everybody is okay. I'm going to go ahead and pop off, grab myself a nice cold drink, and enjoy the rest of my day. So until later, be well, be happy, be healthy, and I will see you at the next reading, all right? I am almost finished with the readings for this next week. Tarot today is always going on, and yeah, you know, when I show up, you know, and I keep telling myself I'm going to come on here more, so maybe that'll really happen. All right, until then, though, I am really grateful for each and every one of you, so I'll see you at the next reading. Until then, bye.